I'm Laura McNamara reporting from Minneapolis, Minnesota at the ACE Annual Conference. Joining me now is John Christianson. Could you go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Hi, Laura. John Christianson with Beyond Agribusiness Solutions and also Benchmark Insights. And I'm happy to be here at ACE. It's been a great conference in Minneapolis. And it's been very interesting with the dynamic changes that are happening in the industry right now with the credit markets that are taking place. So the information has been very, very helpful this year for the participants with the new credits, including 45Z tax credits, the production tax credit, and the intricacies of how to manage that credit and to utilize that credit as the industry evolves.
And do you find people are willing to take it on and, going for the credit even though in 2029 it's set to expire? Is it still enticing?
Yes, I think that the industry's been working on this credit and been working toward this credit for a couple of years and planning on utilizing the credit and preparing their facilities in terms of how can we, again, the whole goal of this is how do we reduce our greenhouse gas emissions as an industry? And the credit is an incentive for the industry to do that. One of the difficulties is getting final regulations from the IRS, the Department of Treasury, and the Department of Energy to provide certainty for the industry because to make the investments, the capital investments required to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, reduce the carbon intensity at the plants is expensive and it requires a substantial investment. So it's been a little bit of a chicken and an egg. They're looking for the guidance from the Treasury. They're looking for the guidance from the Department of Energy, and knowing that they want to make these investments, but they want to make sure that there's going to be that incentive there.
And 45Z has certainly been the hot button topic right now lately, but why do you feel that the ACE conference is important in the overall larger perspective of the industry, the ethanol industry?
I've been a member and involved with the ACE, a member for over 25 years of the American Coalition for Ethanol, and I've been a board member now for over, I believe it's 12 to 15 years. And I find the American Coalition for Ethanol is focused as the grassroots organization for the industry. The plants and going back to the agricultural producers that are providing the feedstock for our industry, the ACE is the representative for them and has been the leader in providing benefit and how do we drive value back to the farming industry. One of the initiatives that ACE has taken on has been associated with the Regional Conservation Program, the RCPP, and a program, and has done for regenerative agriculture, and looking at how do we measure the adaptations to farming practices to reduce the carbon index, the greenhouse gas emissions from the farm practices that we're utilizing today. As we see the 45Z production tax credit rules are looking to provide an incentive going down to the farm level feedstock or the corn production, and so ACE has been a leader in providing that information to the industry and for our ethanol member plants, as well as for the farmers that are members of those plants.
And what is some of the feedback you've been getting from attendees at the ACE conference this year?
Well, I think the ACE has actually been spot on as far as the focus of this conference. There's been production tax credit educational sessions that have been really informative. They've brought in experts from all areas of the focusing on telling plants how they can maximize this production tax credit, the 45Z rules. They're talking about the regenerative ag and the rules for the farm production, so that they can track the carbon index and the greenhouse gas emissions for the corn or the feedstock production. And so it's been an excellent conference. I think the attendees are grateful that they can come to a forum here and network with fellow ethanol plants, ethanol managers, boards of directors, as well as get the information from the experts in the industry at one setting.
And for the ethanol industry as a whole, what do you see for its future?
Well, I see the ethanol industry, I see the future as bright. And I see the future as bright because, again, we're providing a fuel that's American made. It's environmentally beneficial. It lowers costs for the consumer. It's a great economic benefit for rural America and for the farm economy. And so when you look at the checking the boxes as an industry for the products that we produce as an industry, it's going to have a bright future, because all of these things are what America needs, and it's what the Midwest needs and our local communities need.
Okay. Any final thoughts on more tactics for improving the adoption of ethanol?
There's a number of things that will, as we go forward. One is we want to finalize the rules for the 45Z production tax credit and get that fully implemented into the industry. But then it's looking at expanding the markets within the ethanol industry. And those, would include higher blends of ethanol, starting with E15, but even going further to have higher blends beyond E15. And getting into the other industries associated with marine, utilizing ethanol in the marine shipping industry, utilizing ethanol where we're converting potentially diesel engines to use ethanol in the agricultural industry. There's nothing that makes more sense than farmers running their production, their tractors, their combines, running ethanol. And John Deere's coming out now with engines that will run on ethanol. And so I think the emerging markets and the innovation that the plants are exhibiting by reducing, by increasing their efficiencies. One thing that we do is with Benchmark Insights, we actually benchmark the industry. We've done it for over 20 years. And as we watch, as we benchmark the financial and operational factors of the industry, to me, it's incredible to see the innovation and investment that this industry has made to lower the energy usage, the BTUs, the kilowatts to produce a gallon of ethanol and a pound of DDGs. The efficiencies there, the yield increases that we've seen on the gallons of ethanol we get out of a bushel of corn, and the operational efficiencies and how the industry has evolved, and it has been has been incredible. And so it's been very enlightening to see, and I think the future will continue with innovation.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm Laura McNamara reporting from Minneapolis, Minnesota.